Hello everybody and welcome to the Adventures of Drawing. Today I will draw a little scene for you using a variety of pencils, a smudging tool and an eraser. So without further ado, let's go right into this. Alright, so today I've finally managed to set up the camera and, as I said, get the microphone so that you can still hear me. I have done some testing and I think it should be okay, but maybe I'm a little bit quiet or something. I'll be able to adjust that in the future streams if that's the case. So, what are we going to do today? I've set myself up with a little frame, and now, as always, I'll start with the sky. Oh wait, I think the focus is pretty much okay, but let me maybe see if I can no, that's the zoom. Let's zoom out as much as possible so you can see everything. And now let's have a look. It was pretty good. I'm focusing on the tip of the pencil. Let me have a look at those lines that I draw. I think that's pretty much in focus now. Okay, now let's continue with this sky. Just go across with the HB pencil, starting at the top of the drawing. It's a little darker here, and then as I go down, I reduce the pressure on my pencil to make the value lighter. Just like so. Just getting rid of the white areas between the lines down there. And let's make the top darker so there's a transition. Maybe like this. Okay. Now I'll grab the smudging tool and just go left to right again to get a really smooth sky. All right. And next thing, I'm going to take the eraser and erase an area in this sky with circular motions to create a cloud shape. And right now, I hope you realize or see that when I'm erasing and shaking my desk, you don't notice any of the shaking. Okay. Let's get rid of this residue. And now I'm grabbing the HB pencil again, and I'll add a shadow for this cloud down here in the lower part, and just make some very flat curves. Going down here, let's say the sunlight comes from the top left, so in the right side surfaces of the cloud we have some shadows. So I'm just going to add those with some curves right here at the right side. And then up here we've got another volume, this one right here. It has a right side as well that we can see where there's a shadow. Down here, and up here, of course. Maybe like so. In there. Okay. Now I'll grab the smudging tool again and very gently go across the bottom side of this cloud to create a transition from the lower side to the side that faces us. And then I just very gently grab some of this graphite and drag it further up. And from all the C's I created, I get some graphite and pull it to the left to make a transition in those volumes, where at the very right it's the darkest and the shadow value gets lighter as it approaches the light side. Going over here, and that's going to be outside of the frame. Okay. All right. Next, I'm going to go into the ground right here. Just setting the horizon apart from the sky by making it a little darker. Trying to keep it as straight as possible. Okay, and now I'll just add, well, first of all, give it a value so there are no white areas on my piece of paper. Otherwise we'd have really bright spots down there in the ground. And we don't have that. The ground is going to be darker than the sky. So I'll just make it darker. Okay, maybe like so. Now, I want some structure in there. A couple of elevations, so I'm just going to draw in some lines, some wavy lines, all sorts of hills back there in the distance. Okay, Now let me indicate a little mountain that lives over there. Has some roots coming down here. Okay. And then it extends into the ground. And maybe we can see a couple of trees down there. So I just go in and chain together a lot of M's. Just a lot of M shapes. And I'm trying to make them irregular sizes so that we've got some bigger and some smaller trees. They go all the way up there. Maybe they split up down here. Maybe some coming in from the right over there, down there, some more down here. And as they get closer to us, they appear larger. So I'll just make those shapes larger. Got a couple down here. I have to make those volumes end at the same height, otherwise they're going to look tilted. Maybe like so. Okay, and then just some more down here. Okay, and the next thing I'm going to indicate another element of the landscape down here to our right side, just so I know how far I have to go with my drawing so far. Okay, now I'll go into those trees, and those tree lines that I drew are the upper edge of hills, and down below we've got some misty areas down there. So those upper areas can be seen more clearly than below. That's why I'll add some value in the upper parts right here, and then just get lighter as I approach the next lower line. Let me go across the other direction to get a better transition. Okay. Let's do the same down here with this area. Over there. Going in right here. Getting lighter as I approach the next level. Okay. Now this face of the mountain is in the shadow, so I'll give it just a general value with the HB pencil. Again, getting lighter as I approach this tree line right there. Doesn't have to be very exact right now, since I'm going to add some detail in a bit. Okay. Now let's go in here. Maybe for this distance right here. Yeah, those are close enough so that they're a little bit more defined. So I switch to the 3B pencil to make those trees a little darker than the rest. And right here, I'm also considering the shapes and giving them a structure. All sorts of little curls. That can be seen in every tree. Let's extend this over here into the next layer to create another area where things overlap. Now I'll extend this structure of the trees down to the next line. And maybe I'll use the HB pencil for those again, since I made them rather small, not as large as those two trees. So there's not a lot of detail. Going in here, just filling in the area below this line that I made. Right there. Okay, switching to the 3B pencil once more for this tree line down here. Filling this in, reducing the pressure as I go lower and lower. Here as well. And down here. Maybe I'll fill in a value at the very top, just so I don't have to do too much of the structure. So like this, and then I can just fill in the structure a little bit in between. And I don't have to fill this entire area with the structure of the trees. As I go down, it gets lighter, so I switch to the HB pencil again. And let's get some things in there as well. Some treetops poking out. And again, below those trees, I'll add in a little value. Okay, and down here, now we've got the big ones. I'm going in with this curly structure again at the outline. And then I'll fill it in. Fill in the value. Okay, and since I said the light comes from the left, we've got some darker areas at the right, down here, and right here as well. Okay, and then let's go in with some more structure right there. In here and in there as well. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is grab the smudging tool again and make those misty areas really smooth, so we don't see any lines in there. Just a very smooth transition. Going left and right, all the way until we hit the next line. This line right there. Now I'll make the surface of the mountain a little smoother. Go over here, grab this, pull it down to the next line, and over here as well. Pull it all the way over there. It looks a little empty in here, so I once again have some trees poking out just to fill in that space. Make it look like a more or less flat landscape. Before it looked like there was a very deep crevice in there, but there isn't. Okay, continue this down here. Up in here, just pull it down. And now, using the 3B pencil, I'll just add some structure in this mountain right there. Just adding some lines that are going to look like cracks and cross-hatching some areas. So it looks like there are areas that have different inclinations. Just a crack right here and another one over there. Going down here. And just like that, we've got our mountainside. Okay, forgot those trees down here. Just get them nice and smooth. Maybe smudge a little more to the lower and right side so it gets darker. Just getting some shadows in there. Okay. Now I've got my area to the right here. And the first thing I'm going to do is erase those lines from the background in here. Like so. And then I just want to give this ground a value with the HB pencil right now. Let me erase this as well. Okay. Let me quickly cross-hatch that entire area all the way over there and going to the edge of my drawing right here. All right. Maybe get a little darker up here. I want a contrast to the background to set this apart. So let me grab the 3B pencil and just get some darker details in here. Okay, I don't want to draw the entire ground right now. Or maybe I should. Yeah, I think so. Let's just do that right now. Let's have some lines in here indicating all sorts of very minor elevations in here. And crosshatch some areas. Of stronger inclination. Maybe this entire area right here. And something down there. Maybe like so, and then just go in with a couple of lines in those brighter areas for some more detail. Do some zigzagging. And let's use the 7B pencil in the darker areas for some detail in there. Maybe like so. Okay, now let me quickly draw in this side plane of the cliff. This left area is hit by the sunlight, so it's going to be very light and bright. And this area right here has the most inclination away from the sunlight, so it's the darkest. And right here in the very recess, it curves down again, so the inclination is more towards the sun again, so the very recessed area is not the darkest area in here. Just as a small detail. Okay, now I'll get some cracks in here in the surface to give this cliff a structure. In the dark area right here, I used the 3B pencil, and in the very light area, I'll use the HB pencil. And that's our cliff right here. Okay, next, I want some trees up in here. So I'll take the 3B pencil and just decide where those trees are going to be. From some point on the ground where they started to grow, I just make some lines going up into the sky. One down here, another one right there, and let's say there's another one right here. Okay, next I'll erase the areas left to those lines, since I want to create some light areas in the volumes of those tree trunks. I try to make those larger as I get towards the bottom, wider down here, then up at the top. This one's very bent down here. Let me make this a little bit more straight. Maybe like this. Okay. And then maybe starting down here. Create this light area. Then for this one, right here in the foreground, and I try to loosely follow those slight bends and curves that I made with the lines that indicate the tree shapes. Let me see if I can hold the piece of paper right there without obstructing the view for you. Yes. It's easier to erase like this, holding at the top, erasing from a fixed point of the piece of paper. Get this curve right. Maybe like this. Okay, now the one in the background goes down here, and this one in the foreground, it goes down there. Wider at the base. Okay. Now let me again get rid of this eraser residue. All right. Now the next thing is to create those volumes of the tree trunks. So from this line on the right side, that is the very shadow side, I just go in with the 3B pencil and extend it to the left, leaving a little bit of a light side to the left. Do this for all the trees. Now, in here it doesn't matter if there are some blank areas, since it looks like a structure of the tree bark. And you can already leave it like this, and it looks like three-dimensional tree trunks. But I'm going to go in and add a little bit more structure in a second. Okay, on to the next one. All right, and let me first draw the one in the background. This one right here to the very right. The tree in front of it covers the light side, So I just extend the shadow side right up to this tree in front of it. Okay, now this one. Maybe it's right here, a little bit more to the right. Okay, going to the left side, to the light side. And now I'll take the 7B pencil and go in here with some very short zigzags up and down, just covering half of the tree trunk, just going to the middle, since on the left side it's not that dark and I'm going to have to use a lighter pencil. But right here, I can add a little bit more structure and also make this right side a little darker, since I think those trees still look a little bit flat. And by adding some more shadow right here, I think they're going to be more three-dimensional. This one going all the way to the top, all the way up there. This one right here. The one in the background. And this one in the foreground. Okay, change the angle of the pencil to get a little bit more of a point. Otherwise I don't even get lines in here and I don't get the structure I want. That's more like it. Okay, now I'll switch to the 3B pencil and go a little bit more into the mid values and over there to the light area of the tree. Just with the same motion up and down, creating some lines in here in the volume of the tree. Every dark line is a recess in the tree bark. Okay, that's more like it, I think. On to the next one. If you hear rumbling in the audio, I don't know if the mic picks that up, but there's a construction site right outside of my house. I think I mentioned that in an earlier stream, but yeah, just so you know what's going on, what that stuff is that you're hearing. It's nothing in your room or outside of your place. Okay. Second to last right here. Trying to find another point in my lead so I can make proper lines in here. I'm every once in a while rotating the pencil for that. All right, on to this last one. Okay. I'm thinking about how to add a couple of branches and leaves right now, because those trees, I think they look nice and organic. I especially like this curvy one right here, but I just want some more detail in there. So yeah, I'll stick to the 3B pencil, and from those 3 trees right here that are in the front, we can see the lower branches. So I just draw in some squiggly lines coming down from there. Maybe one is coming from the back of the tree down here. Another one from up at the top, or not exactly the top, but from outside of the frame coming down here. And this one right there. Another one over here on that side, and one right here. Okay, let's get in some bifurcations. Let's have something just end right down there. Okay. This one goes over here. Something in there and over there. Okay. Now I'll add some leaves. Just going left and right. This structure is almost like the tree bark. It's just horizontal. And I'm leaving less bright areas in between here than when I draw the tree bark. But other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. Just going left and right in very short strokes to create those patches of leaves. And if I leave lighter area and make it larger than when I draw the tree bark, so that it looks like there's a hole in the foliage where you can see the sky. Okay, some leaves over here going to the tip of those branches. Some stuff back there and down here. Add a couple of single leaves very close to the patches. And then go over there. Add some more leaves over here. Back there. And down here. Okay. Second to last branch up here. And the last one right there. All right. Now the last thing I want to do is to just add some more detail in the ground, and I just want maybe a couple of plants down there. Thinking about just the usual couple of lines of grass. In here. Right at the edge. Poking out there. And down here. Now there's a line of grass going in here. Gotta fill it up so it doesn't look too spaced out, the areas between the blades of grass. Okay. Let me add some more, maybe right there. Approaching this tree. And then I want to try something. I want to have a fern growing right here. So I'll indicate those, I don't know what those are called, the areas where all those leaves grow on. I'll do those first, and then from there I'll go and add the leaves that grow on the side of it. getting bigger and bigger. Right there. Over here. This one right down there. And the one over here. Maybe add a couple more. I don't know where though. Maybe back here in the back. One more bending down there away from us. One more down here. Then there's something down there as well. Looks a little bit like a fern, I guess. Let's have one more down here. And again, the leaves that grow on the side. Right here, where they're almost horizontal. Like this. Right there, like that. In here. Over there in the back. This one reaching right up into the sky. The one hanging down here. And this one in the back. Yeah, maybe that's a fern. Okay, some more grass. And then something for the trees to stand on. It's so light. Right where they stand, it looks like they float in the air. Just adding a little bit down there with the HB pencil. Maybe a little bit of a shadow. Just the idea, the indication with the HB pencil. And then with the 3B pencil, getting some structure in the ground, something that they stand on. Maybe a bit of grass growing at the side of them. Right there and right here. A little bit in front of the tree as well. There. All right. Now, that's it for today's drawing. So let's clean up those edges. One to the left, right here. My screen is shaking and it makes a little bit of a clicking noise. Maybe you heard that during the stream as well. I think I fixed it now. I tried to sneakily reach to the screen in between, but that didn't fix it. But now if I give the table a little shake, it still does do some clicking noises, but I think it's not as bad as it was before. Okay, be a little bit more precise over here. Get rid of those dark lines and then go to the lower edge. It take away quite something right here to match it with this edge down there. I think this did the trick. Okay. There you go. All right. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you got something out of this stream, some inspiration or motivation to draw or get something else done. Just some ASMR in the background for whatever you're doing. If you find yourself coming back to the stream, please subscribe. If you like what you see, please give the VOD a like and maybe drop down in the comments and tell me what you think about what I'm doing right here. So, with all this said, thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.